Peace, family. I'm back with another informative video. This one is going to be a little different. It's about GoPuff, another contract that I have doing deliveries for. You know, with me going on my journey as the gig economist, I'm trying out as many apps as possible, learning about them. You're driving for them, seeing what the conditions are, seeing what the morale is, seeing what the culture is. And I say that to say this video is not really going to be different, but I'm going to explain why GoPuff is dead. Pardon me, but I'm not going to do this with just my do-rag. I'm going to actually need my goofy hat for this one because it's getting real good. Well, anyway, guys, the first few things that I want to talk about off the top of my head is the changes that I have been seeing get implemented.
It just doesn't benefit anybody that signed up to be an independent contractor, anybody that's driving, anybody that is in their vehicle. It just doesn't benefit you with the changes that have been taking place.
And I'm just going to go with it off of the top of my head. I can remember starting to do GoPuff in 2021 at the end of the year and fourth quarter, which was in November or December. I worked all of the important holidays like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I made really good money. I got bonuses. I was making a guaranteed $12.50 per hour, which is pretty good considering most of the apps that you use where you do deliveries, there is no guaranteed pay for the most part in any of the other apps. Just to name a few: Amazon Flex, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, to name a few. If you do any of them and you don't get as much work as you think you would, or you don't get the projected amount of work or what is normal, I don't think anybody covers income for you. With that being the case, with GoPuff, if they don't have any work, you'll still get the $12.50 per hour, which was cool because there were times where we didn't have a lot of volume. So we were just sitting in our cars. And at that time, I was doing as much as I could. So I was working up to 80 hours per week. So you could imagine just sitting in the car for 80 hours and just waiting. I'm not saying that to say that we did that often, where it was a lot of waiting, but there were times where we were waiting, maybe 10 hours a week. So out of that 80 hours, 10 to 12 of those hours were me just sitting in the car and waiting. So that was something to deal with. And being paid for that, that's pretty good because you can imagine I'm being paid to wait. So regardless if I'm eating, playing a game, YouTubing, doing anything on social media, I'm still able to do that and get paid to do it. So the time that passed by wasn't too bad because I was able to be occupied with something that allowed me to not just have to sit there. That changed at some point in time. Hours were just taking away. So you can no longer get 80 hours per week if 80 hours are not available. So it went from being able to get 80 hours to hours just not even being available. So that was a drastic change for me because you had to really fight to get on the schedule. People were actually taking all of the hours and then reselling the hours, which is something that happened at a warehouse that I'm at, that I was local to, where the hours come out, there's a certain amount of time allocated, and people would just swipe their finger on every shift, and then they would group together and say, hey, I got a Thursday 2 to 8. Anybody want it for $5? And so on and so forth. And people would actually sell shifts, or people would trade shifts, or some people would get the shifts and then divide it amongst the people that they are around the most. And whatever, to each his own. It didn't really bother me because I was able to get my hours and I was working and things were cool when hours were there. But like I said, when the hours were no longer there, it was more of a battle, and you had to be very competitive to get the hours. And I've even shown you guys where the schedule would go in 30 seconds. The schedule comes out on Thursdays at 12 o'clock p.m. and the schedule will go in 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 1 minute. And half of that was your screen refreshing and just spinning and telling you to wait, and you just kind of being like kind of stuck until it refreshed and you could see what was available. And then you didn't even have time to see what days you were working. It was kind of like you had to just hurry up and pick. I still would take my time because I have specific ideas about how I'm going to create my schedule, and I like to work at night most of the time. In the morning sometimes. The reason why I like to work at night is because I can handle things I need to handle, and then I can go to work and I'm getting things done. Where if I was working in the daytime, I would probably be tired and go home at night and go to sleep, so I probably wouldn't get much done. After them messing with the schedule and taking away the shifts that were available, guess what they did then? We had something called a bonus, which used to be $3 per trip, or a boost rather. I'm sorry, let me correct myself. Something called a boost, and that boost was $3 every time you got a new delivery, and that would come at select times when drivers were really needed. So if it was like a holiday, you would get a boost. If it was a time where there's not enough drivers on, you would get a boost. Or any circumstance where things just need to get done. If there's too many bags sitting there, you would get a boost, because GoPuff has a thing where every delivery is supposed to be done within 30 minutes. So pick, pack, and deliver it within 30 minutes. And you can see that that's a hard act to follow. Recently, the boost has went from $3 to $1. So I'm like, okay, so we're dealing with no longer really having hours, because like I said, I was able to pull 80 hours when I wanted to. So we don't really have hours anymore. I'm to the point where I'm just doing whatever I want to do. So I'm doing like 5 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours, or something like that. And just letting it work. We used to have a weekly bonus where if you did 20 deliveries, you would get $100. I thought that was kind of cool, because I was like, all right, I'm down to do 20 deliveries for $100. You know, that's not bad. Obviously, a lot of times you would do more than 20 deliveries, but it got me into a state of mind where I was like, okay, I'm gonna do at least 20 deliveries a week, and then I should be able to make $1,000 a month just working 4 days. You know, just so I'm gonna use this app to get my 20 deliveries, and then I'm gonna do all of the other things that I do during the month to generate my income. So it turned into a part-time thing because I was having so many challenges with the schedule being cut. Then we turned around and then the boosts aren't really there. Then we got an email that said, you're guaranteed $12.50 per hour, and your boosts were going to be combined to make sure that you met the $12.50 per hour minimum. And I'm like, okay, so if you combine the two, that means you're taking one of them away. So that means that you really don't have boosts anymore, but you're saying that you do. And then when you do have them, you're giving people $1. You know, like it's not even significant. It's a slap in the face, to say the least. So with all of these different changes, for me, the morale is changing. I'm looking at it differently. I'm looking at it like I'm wasting time now. I'm looking at it like, it's like, man, this is like a burden, because now how am I supposed to come and perform at my best when I got all these things on my mind? Because this is stressful. Gas is at an all-time high. Food is at an all-time high. None of these things are going to go away. This is part of inflation and part of us going into something different, something and somewhere that we have never been before. So this is going to cause a lot of people to struggle if they don't know how to do things and how to be profitable and how to run a business and so on and so forth, which I've been doing so for several years, and I'm going to continue to do it, and I have to be profitable. It just left a bad taste in my mouth. So now we're dealing with a company that's just dead. GoPuff is dead to me now because of these different changes that they made. It's not worth it anymore, you know, and you've taken everything away. What really made me know that it was dead was I signed in yesterday, and I'm going to go to my phone now, to my notes, and stop going from the top of my head so I can give you some real context. Yesterday, I logged in and I did a delivery. Check this out. The old weekly bonus used to be 20 deliveries for $110. I know earlier I said $100, but at some point in time they changed that too. We were doing 20 deliveries to get 110. One week they took away the 110 and made it 100. Cool. I was like, whoa. I look at the little small things. We don't say nothing. So then now, instead of it being 100, check it out. You got to do 125 deliveries to get 250, which most people are not going to do that, but you will have some drivers that will do it. So kudos to them. But now, in order for you to get $100, you got to do 50 deliveries, and you get $150 for 75 deliveries. You get $200 for 100 deliveries, and you get $250 for 125 deliveries. Anybody doing 100 and 125 deliveries are most likely full-time. So that's going to be just a few people with the changes, because most of the drivers that were serious, that were diligent, that really did well are going to leave. Drivers like me that did well are going to leave. It's just too many changes. It's a slap in the face. These people that are behind the desk, that wear suits in corporate, that don't have to deal with the conditions that we deal with, that just make these decisions, don't care about drivers. It's just obvious. It's clear the things that they do. You're just going to just pretty much just clip our wings with the way you're doing this. It's like some people are really, really going to suffer, man. Really. Like, they're going to suffer. Let me go into some more information. Like I said before, let's get deep into the information. Reserving delivery times and the minimum guarantee. 100% of our U.S. locations offer a minimum guarantee adjustment, formerly known as subsidy, for delivery partners that opt to reserve delivery blocks. The minimum guarantee adjustment, when applicable, is calculated on a weekly basis, averaging across all scheduled hours. You will only receive minimum guarantee adjustment if the base pay you earn during all scheduled hours for the week is lower than that location's hourly minimum guarantee. When this happens, we'll top off the difference. Keep in mind, this calculation doesn't account for your tips, which you'll always keep 100% of. This is an earnings floor, so it's possible to earn more than the minimum guarantee. Every Thursday, GoPuff facilities publish a list of available delivery time blocks on the GoPuff Driver app for the following week. Delivery partners have the option to reserve a delivery time, though it is not a requirement of delivering with GoPuff. The minimum guarantee is specific to each GoPuff facility and is calculated weekly. To calculate if you're eligible to receive a minimum guarantee adjustment in your market, GoPuff looks at your earnings for base pay, not including tips and weekly bonuses from reserve hours on the platform that week. And if you earn below the committed hourly earnings for your market, we will top off your earnings to ensure you reach our minimum guarantee. Delivery partners can, and often do, earn above the minimum guarantee because this is an earnings floor. Please note that you are only eligible for a minimum guarantee adjustment when you deliver from the same location you reserved a block at. Determining minimum earnings guarantee. For delivery partners opting to prearrange their time delivering, the next step is for GoPuff to calculate how much you earned in base pay for any pre-selected hours. Let's say, for example, you delivered during the 20 prearranged hours you selected in GoPuff Driver last week. During those hours, you completed 80 deliveries. You earn a $3 order base pay at your facility. Your minimum guarantee is $14 reserved an hour. That means you'll have earned $240 in base pay. $3 times 80 deliveries during 20 prearranged hours in total. You should earn at least $280 or greater. $14 times 20 hours equals $280 based on your minimum earnings guarantee. Note that your tips and weekly bonuses do not count towards your minimum earnings guarantee. Only your base pay is used to calculate your minimum guarantee adjustment. Weekly bonus. Most GoPuff facilities offer a weekly bonus that you can earn by completing a certain number of deliveries in a given week. The tiers for your weekly bonus will vary based on your facility as well as the current market conditions. While your weekly bonuses are subject to change each week, this will not necessarily be the case. It all depends on if the market conditions have changed. When changes do occur, they will be displayed in the GoPuff Driver app under the Earnings tab beginning Monday after you make your first delivery. In places where the weekly bonus is offered, delivery partners are eligible to earn a weekly bonus for one facility in a given week. All deliveries you complete will count towards your weekly bonus, but the reward you receive will be for whichever location you complete the most deliveries. Calculating your weekly earnings. Weekly earning periods begin and end at 5 a.m. local time Monday. To understand total earnings, let's start with the easy stuff. Your earnings include a combination of base pay, tips, weekly bonuses when applicable, pre-order boosts, other extras like first order bonuses. Add it all up, put it in the bag, it's all yours. And that's just to break down the way GoPuff pays us. Now I want to go into some receipts to show you what was possible before all of these different things they have done to make changes that, like I said, is just going to make the veteran drivers leave. It's a joke. We're just going to go over the receipts that I have. I did 29 deliveries in one day without any bonuses. I made $224.90. And I also had a weekly reward that I was due for the 20 deliveries for another $110. So basically in that one day, if you added up the bonus and added up what I made in that one day, I made $334.90 in one day with things being the way that they were. This was New Year's weekend of this year. I made $326.29 in one day. There was a $7 boost. I completed 19 deliveries with my base pay being $61.75. The events, which was the boost, was $209 for working, and tips were $55.54. And that was one day of work. 29 deliveries, $94.25 for the deliveries, $315 for the event, $63.17 in tips. My total earnings for the day was $472.42 for 29 deliveries. And that's some great pay. And I'm also working during the time that other people are spending time with their family. Everyone is in chill mode and just doing what it is that they do. That's the reason why I was able to do so many deliveries, because I was like single-handedly working and running a warehouse by myself. So I deserve to make $472.42, right? And I'm willing to work for it. And this is my weekly earnings. Here is my pay for a week where I worked 80 hours. I worked 80 hours in 19 minutes. 61.83 hours were scheduled and 18.36 hours were unscheduled. My total for the week was $1,634.24. And I had a weekly reward of $110. Events were totaled at $322 for events. And that's not bad for, 1 week. Most people are not willing to work 80 hours. Not most, but the majority of people, they're not going to put the 80 in because they really don't want to. And that's cool. Like I said, I'm a hustler. I'm going to go get it. So $1,634.24 for 1 week of work. This is 2 times that I got paid. December 27th to January 2nd, I got $1,634.24. And then January 3rd to January 9th, I was paid $1,832.42.
That's some real good money, but obviously it's impossible to do that now with the new structure and the way that the company is being ran. So, like I said, drivers are not only going to be out here scraping and scrambling to make money, it's just going to be like, it's going to be a slap in the face considering what they were able to do prior.
And that's the reason why GoPuff is dead. I hope I gave you guys some context into the way I feel and why I'm going to be deleting the GoPuff app and getting it out of my email and just deplatforming that from my phone altogether, because I no longer want them to send me any notifications or anything like that, because I don't feel like it's worth my time anymore. And that's the reason why I have my goofy hat on, because things just really got goofy.